Today, we're going to talk about why I love peppermint and why you should too. Because peppermint is so beneficial in our daily lives and especially in pregnancy. But how many of you have ever experienced a stomach ache, motion sickness, felt nauseous, had a hard time going to the bathroom, had a headache, felt congested in your lungs? Well, of course you have. We all have. And that, my friends, is why we're talking about peppermint today. So, some of the benefits of peppermint, we can only talk about a few of them today because we just have a short time together. But some of the benefits of peppermint are, like what I just mentioned, it's all about digestion and indigestion. So, soothing irritable bowel syndrome, nausea, vomiting, gas, constipation, heartburn, morning sickness, motion sickness, headaches. Those are just some of the benefits. Also, peppermint is really beneficial for oral health and oral hygiene and freshening your breath. And since peppermint is so dear to my heart, and that I really do have a personal connection and relationship with this plant, I want to give you a gift. I want to let you experience how much I enjoy this. So today, for those of you that are with me on live, that are hanging out with us right now for this hour, hopefully it'll be a little less than an hour, but for this time, those of you that want a free tea tin of Lady in Waiting, we'll give it to you today for being with us. So in order to do that, it's really easy. All you have to do is in the comments, comment that you want it, and then after the show, we'll private message all of you that commented, and we'll follow up because we need your email address. And then what we'll do is we'll send you an invoice. The tea tin will be free, but you'll have to pay for the small shipping cost. And that's how to do it. And so you get a free tea tin for hanging out with me today, and that's pretty cool, huh? If this is our first time meeting, my name is Maria Chaudhry, and I'm a midwife and an herbalist, and I'm the creator of Birthsong Botanicals. And so I'm really so happy that you're all here. I do have a couple little housekeeping things I just want to tell you. So we're recording this live for Facebook and for our podcast. I better press record, play on that for our podcast. And so you're going to see me in the front, but Heaven is behind the camera, and so you'll hear her voice. So I can't see the comments. I don't know if you're on here, but Heaven's going to let us know. She'll chime in if there's comments and if there's questions, okay? So all of you that are here, give us a heart, give us a smile, comment, and let us know you're here. And also let me know if you know about peppermint, if you drink peppermint, if you like peppermint. Okay? So let's get started and start talking about the benefits, okay? Okay, so every herb talk, I really want to start this way. I don't start this way, but I'd like to. When we're talking about herbs, we're not talking about how you can just take something and use something to help you, right? The perspective that I'm coming from is I'm really fostering a connection and a relationship with the plants. In our English language, we have some limiting words, and so we use the word use a lot. And so I find myself using the word use, although I really want to start to have another vocabulary. Right? In birth, we talk about this a lot. Let's change the vocabulary. Let's change the language of birth. Let's change the language of herbalism in that we're not taking and using all the time, but we're sharing, we're learning, we're giving, we're connecting, we're imbibing, we're drinking, we're connecting with these plants. So peppermint is really dear to me, and I can talk about this connection because I consider peppermint actually one of my friends. And actually, I consider peppermint to be one of my plant allies. Some of you are like, what? Friends and plant allies? I guess what I'm trying to say, I just want to build on the connection piece a little bit. Like here we are, me and you, we're sitting here together. We're together, it's Thursday at noon, and we're hanging out, right? So I'm not using you. I'm not taking something from you. I'm not, what I am doing is spending time with you, sharing my insights, my perspectives, what I know and love about this plant. I'm going to share with you some tea tins. See, that's called reciprocity. We're giving and taking. You're paying attention and listening in, and then that's cyclical. That's a give and take. It's a win-win situation. Right? So that's what I want us to cultivate when we're working with our plants and we're learning about herbal medicine, is that we're cultivating a relationship. So keep that in mind in all the herb talks. When you yourself are learning about herbs for your own home and your own family and your own life, think about how can I foster a friendship and a relationship with these plants? What can I learn from them? And so, and another thing I want to talk about is I mentioned that peppermint is my plant ally. And you're like, what is a plant ally? So a plant ally is really just a fun thing. It's fun. You can take it seriously or don't take it seriously. I take it sincerely. That means I care about it and I put my best forward, but I just have fun with it. But peppermint is my plant ally because it's everywhere that I go. Everywhere I've ever lived, in every house that I remember, we've had peppermint, either growing in a pot or growing out front. And when I'm a midwife and I go to births, almost every client's house had a peppermint out front or in their yard. And when you travel the world, peppermint grows all over the world. When you are driving in rural Arkansas and you pull off the side of the road and you go into the rest area, the gas station, and the teas over there on the side, they're going to have 3 types of tea, and peppermint's going to be one of them. Right? When you go to the Walmart and you need to get toothpaste, peppermint is going to be in the toothpaste. It's going to be in the mouthwash. It's going to be in the shampoo. It's going to be in skincare products. It's going to be pervasive. It's everywhere. That means no matter where I go, I'm always with a friend. I'm always connected to peppermint. And so that's why peppermint is my plant ally. And also, I wasn't going to mention this, but I have a little personality that's a little bit like peppermint. Is peppermint hot or is peppermint cold? Oh, she's both. Is peppermint calming or stimulating? Oh, she's both. Peppermint, when you put her in the bed, the garden bed, the flower bed, and you plant her at first, she's real small. And then the next year she gets a little bit bigger and builds a little confidence. And the third year she's right there, taking over, wow, loud and vibrant and just full of vigor. And so I can really identify with peppermint as a personality too. And so that's one reason why I really love peppermint. Anybody out there? Anybody have any peppermint stories or thoughts or comments?
Lily Womack was wondering if she plants peppermint, if you will come and visit.
Well, Lily is my sister in Portland. Whoop, whoop. Yes, I will come and visit you. I miss you and I love you and I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so glad you're here. Yay! Yeah, and it'll go good in your backyard. Lily's doing this whole backyard project, like really impressive. My sister is super impressive to me. She is doing this whole backyard project and planting things, and so peppermint will just grow really big and you'll just feel so accomplished after you have the peppermint there. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so, yay, Lily's here. And peppermint, see, we're surrounded by love. Let's talk a little bit more about the benefits of peppermint. So I kind of went through this whole list, right, that I just said. Peppermint is good for stomach, indigestion, digestion, irritable bowel, motion sickness, morning sickness, gas, constipation. What else did I say? Headaches, lung congestion, oral health. So let's just break these down, a few of these down, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit from a midwife perspective, and I'm going to talk about, okay, let's talk about morning sickness at first. And as a midwife, what would I say to a client that has morning sickness, and a couple tips and tricks, right? Okay. So morning sickness comes from, your blood sugar is peaking and valleying and you have a sudden increase of hormones in your system, right? And your metabolism, you're just constantly working to grow this baby. And so your blood sugar plummets. And when your blood sugar plummets, you feel nauseous. So a basic principle is to eat every 2 hours. And I don't mean a full meal. I mean like a little squirrel, little tiny, tiny snacks. And when you're early pregnant, you crave sugar. You crave sweet things because you need energy. That's what's happening is just you used to eat all healthy organic greens and all this stuff, and now all of a sudden you're pregnant and you're craving donuts. You're doing that because you need sugar, right? And you need this energy. So instead of eating donuts every 2 hours, I encourage you to have something light though, something fruit, or sometimes people just want plain, like basic rice, plain yogurt, just plain without very many flavors, right? Saltine crackers, right? Ginger ale, plain things. But you're eating every 2 hours because what you're doing is you're trying to stabilize your blood sugar. And so and this is early pregnancy nausea and morning sickness can happen at any time, but it's one of the few times that it's different than when you're not pregnant and you feel nauseous. When you're not pregnant and you feel nauseous, you're like, oh my goodness, as soon as I eat, I'm going to vomit. Some pregnant women will feel that way, but other pregnant women, I promise you, everything in them says, I can't eat. But then when they do eat a little bit, oh, they feel better. They do. It's true. Some of them do. And so you eat a little bit, right? And then as soon as you start to feel a tiny bit better, you eat a little bit of protein, like a hard-boiled egg, a piece of cheese, a handful of nuts, a piece of chicken, something light, right? And then when you feel just a little bit better, have that other sweet thing, and then follow it up with the protein thing. Have that little sweet thing, following it up with the protein. So you kind of are constantly eating. Your bag, your to-go bag should always have snacks in it, and a bottle of water and snacks. The other little tip about morning sickness is when you go to bed, definitely have a bedtime snack. Also, when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go pee, eat a handful of almonds or saltine crackers. Have them right by the bed. Or peanut butter crackers or cheese and crackers right by the bed, something that won't go bad, that can sit there. The other thing is have that same snack right there. So before you get up out of bed in the morning, you are awake. But before you actually sit up to seize the day, you eat a bite of that cracker, and then you slowly make your way to the bathroom, and that'll help settle your stomach so that you can start your day off. Okay, so that's just one morning sickness trick. Another is obviously drink some pregnancy tea. If you've been with us with our other talks, you heard me talk all about red raspberry leaf and nettle and how beneficial they are for nausea, right? And so you definitely want to do that. And since I said sweet, add some honey to it, and that'll give you extra vitamins and minerals, and it'll help raise your blood sugar up, and so it'll nourish you. And it'll also help hydrate you. The other thing you can do is for morning sickness is stomach soother. I'm not going to open this up right now, but this on the label is a pretty general label. It says take 3 to 5 times a day as needed. And really this is one of these ones that you just do per symptom. So what I mean by that is when you feel super nauseous, try to do all the things I said, eat a little bit, and then take some stomach soother, a dropper of stomach soother, and then wait about 15 minutes, and then take another, if you need it, take another dropper of stomach soother, and then wait about 15 minutes. If you need it, if you feel a little bit better, wait till 30 minutes. Okay, take your another dropper, and then wait another 30 minutes. You feeling a little bit better? Okay, wait for the hour. Take the hour. So what I'm trying to say is you can take it based on your symptoms and just spread it out a little at a time. It's totally okay. You're not going to take too much peppermint in your pregnancy, okay? Especially if you're super nauseous. Oh, there was one other trick I did want to tell you about is when you take a bath. So if you take a bath, not super hot, not super cold, but body temperature, I know it feels a little lukewarm. It's not like your favorite bath, but it's body temperature. And if you stay in for, okay, you need to stay in for 20 minutes. Here's why. The first 15 minutes, your body, your skin is hydrating. It's just sucking in the moisture. So 15 to 20 minutes is your golden time. So you don't want to be in there less than 15 minutes, but you really don't want to go past 20 minutes, because after 25 minutes, then your body, when you've been in the water for too long, then you start to have pruny hands and raisin hands and feet. That's taking the moisture out. So it's the sweet time. You get in there for 15 minutes, maybe 20 at lukewarm temperature. You put some Epsom salts in there. You have your pregnancy tea, you have your stomach soother, and then that might help you get past your nausea and vomiting. Okay? So, there's that midwife tip and trick. Okay? Now, let's talk about, what was the next one? Constipation. Okay, constipation. So, constipation can come from a lot of things in pregnancy. And in normal life, I don't know about you, but you're like all regular, and then all of a sudden you're not, and you're like, what changed? And it was probably something simple, like you ate something weird or you weren't as physically active. But so constipation in pregnancy particularly is your uterus is growing and everything has to move out of the way, so things are displaced, right? And so we need to get peristalsis going, right? And so you can do that a couple different ways. You can do some gentle yoga movements like cat-cow. In pregnancy, you're not supposed to do deep spinal twists, but you can have your legs together and do gentle spinal twists if it feels right. You can do self-massage. Just massage yourself. The thing about massage that's super important is go in the direction of the clockwise direction. And you can obviously drink some pregnancy tea, and I want to tell you more about that. Here's how I want you to do it if you have constipation. Okay, constipation, a big part of it is time, right? You need to allow yourself enough time. There's actually a benefit of constipation. Here's the benefit. Is all of a sudden, you feel like you gotta hurry up and go do your life, and you gotta go to the bathroom, but you can't. So you have to stop and wait. Well, that's a perfect analogy for pregnancy, is you have to stop and wait. So what I want you to do is get a stool and put the stool in the bathroom, so you elevate your legs, and so you're kind of in a squatting position. You have plenty of time. And this is what I want you to do with your tea. Drink super hot, like hot as you can stand it, pregnancy tea, right? Drink like about half of the cup. Make some oatmeal and eat a little bit of oatmeal. And then, after you've eaten a little bit of oatmeal, make sure that tea is hot. Don't let it be lukewarm. Once again, as hot as you can stand it, pregnancy tea again. So you have hot, then food, and then hot. And that hot food, hot, helps create peristalsis and helps things move and flush and move through your system. Okay? So, and stomach soother has fennel, peppermint, and ginger, which are all great for constipation too. So you can have stomach soother and you can have lady-in-waiting tea to help with your constipation. Okay? Cool. Thumbs up if you're with me. Okay, what was the next one? Headaches. The headaches. Okay, so headaches, there are a lot of causes also for headaches. A big part, they're all the same causes really. Hormones are jacked up, and you are growing a baby, and your blood sugar is low. So if you're going to help a headache, you're going to increase your hydration, right? You're going to try to put your morning sickness, nausea, and vomiting symptoms at bay, and do those things that we talked about to help that. Also, if you're constipated, that's going to lead to a headache. So if we can get you to not be constipated. Another thing, I want to go back to constipation. A safe way to relieve constipation is to eat a lot of prunes. Prunes are high in iron, and they help soften things and move things through. What you do not want to do is take laxatives. And you do not want to take like synthetic iron. Last live, I talked a lot about iron. You don't want to take synthetic iron. You want to take chlorophyll or nettles, and for this very reason, synthetic iron will lead to constipation, where chlorophyll and nettles will resolve constipation. So that's a pretty critical thing. So going back to that if you need to freshen up. But with constipation leading to headaches, So now here we are, we have these headaches. So what can we do about that? So we have to relieve the morning sickness, we have to relieve the constipation, and now you might need to take the nap that you're needing to take. You might need to eat, and you might need to drink. But a simple tip is to sit in the chair and get a foot bath. Put a basin of water on the floor and make it, once again, as hot as you can stand it, right? Hot where you're like, you're not going to burn yourself, but your skin is red. And then an ice pack. So get an ice pack and put the ice pack on your head, right? And so the ice pack on your head is going to contract, and then the heat down low is going to pull. So it's going to contract and pull, so it's going to pull that tension away from your head, right? You drink a nice strong cup of peppermint tea, or you can also get essential oils, but you can also do this, and this is what I like to do. You can get a little piece of peppermint, and you take it in your hand and you rub it up, rub it up, rub it up, rub it up. Come on. Ball it up. Come on. Break it up, break it up. It's got to roll up a little bit better. There we go. Almost there. So it's all kind of this wad now. And then you take your hands. It's pretty amazing. I think if any of you are at home, go get a peppermint plant and ball it up just like this. Try not to drop it on the floor. And inhale. It's really special. And then you can put that on your temples, on the back of your neck. You can get essential oils, put it with some coconut oil, and you can do peppermint and lavender together on your temples and on the back of your neck. And that's really good for headaches. One other thing, you can do all of that, and this is one of the few times that I say, hey, it's okay to have a little caffeine. So some people drink coffee, that's not my style, but black tea or green tea, that caffeine will be a vasodilator, and it'll help this ice and this heat, it'll help move this stagnation and move all this tension much faster. Okay? So, those are your pregnancy tips for morning sickness, constipation, and headaches. And guess what? Even if it's not related to pregnancy, all those tips will work for you too. Okay? And so what else? Oh, oral health. Oral health. This is why it's one of my plant allies, right? So you can chew on this peppermint and it'll freshen your breath. You can put a little sprig of peppermint in your water as you're just going throughout the day to change it up and to help your breath. Because pregnant women have issues with oral health. Here's why. Their babies are so demanding that they require so much nutrition from their bodies. And if these women are not supplying it from their food, and if they're not supplying it from their supplements, the baby is going to take it, right? And it's going to take it from their teeth, and it's going to take it from their bones, right? And so it's super important that you have impeccable oral health and hygiene. And then the other problem with poor oral health is when you go to the dentist, and if you're pregnant, they immediately want to put you on antibiotics. So to protect your heart, there's something to do with the bacteria in your mouth and heart, and it's a big deal. And so you really want to avoid antibiotics in your pregnancy, so you kind of want to avoid having to go to the dentist for all these problems. And so nourishment beforehand is the key for that. However, you can take a nice strong peppermint tea, that's what I'm drinking right now, and you can do this as a rinse or a gargle. And that's antiseptic and cleaning for your mouth. Also, you could make a homemade toothpaste. I've seen a lot of recipes. This is the one I'm going to try. It's like a teaspoon of baking soda to a little bit more than a teaspoon of coconut oil and some peppermint oil, and you mix that together and you brush your teeth with that. My concern with that, really, though, this is why I haven't done it, but you could maybe do it, is I don't want the coconut oil to go down into my pipes, and so you probably want to spit that out in the trash because you don't want it to solidify. That's all. That's my concern about that. What else did I want to talk to you about? I wanted to talk to you about, just to recap, our connections, make friendships with your plants and with your herbs. You'll get such a deeper meaning. The recap that we have a gift for you because we're creating a friendship with you, right? And so to do that, remember to do that, you comment, and then we'll private message you, because we'll get your email address, and then we'll send you the invoice for the shipping. I also want to talk to you about a couple things that are coming up on the horizon, planting the seeds for the future. We're working on some projects I'm a little bit excited about. So we have a couple new products that are coming out soon. There's a lot of steps in between now and then, but we're getting really close. One is for menstruation, to help regulate menstrual cycles. One is for anxiety and stress relief, and really just to help calm, for you to feel solid and serene. One is for ear aches, ear infections, and ear oil. And the other one is chlorophyll. I'm super excited about the chlorophyll coming out. I'm also, back to this tea, is we're going to not have this tea tin anymore. So this is the time. If you want this, now is the time. After October, we're not going to have the tea tin. We're transitioning just to the bags, which is a great deal for you too, but this is going to be vintage and special. Get it. What else do I want to say? I was originally going to talk to you about oat straw, but Peppermint has a tendency to crowd things out, and I didn't want oat straw to be just on the sidelines, but we have a couple minutes, so I guess I just will talk to you about oat straw real quick. Okay, so I'm not putting oat straw and peppermint together in the same conversation because they're like super compatible. It's not that they're not compatible, it's just that oat straw really belongs more in the conversation of those nourishing herbs like red raspberry leaf and nettle, because red raspberry leaf is high in all these vitamins and minerals, and nettle is high in iron, but oat straw is really high in calcium, and so this is where it fits into this conversation. It fits in a couple places. I just said, if you don't nourish your body well, the baby will take the calcium from your bones and from your teeth. That's a major statement, and I'm not misleading you, right? So, oat straw is a super bioavailable source, rich source in calcium. So, sure, cow's milk will say it has more calcium in it, but it's not available to your body. So you can have, once again, I said this before, you can have a large milligram, a large amount of something, but if your body doesn't utilize it, it's not that helpful. So oat straw is very utilizable, right, and high in calcium. So if it's high in calcium, then it also helps with aches and pains and muscle cramps, and we talked about that before. One of the leading reasons of fatigue is people don't rest well because they hurt and they're having a lot of cramps. And so if you're hurting and aching and your body's growing and expanding and your pelvis is shifting and your back is hurting and your legs are restless, then you need minerals. So minerals are vital. And so oat straw is really high in minerals, particularly calcium. Also, some of you that are listening, we've talked a little bit about, in the past, a little bit about perspective, and we talked about, like this time we're talking about relationship and perspective. So if you're wanting to have this like glorious birth experience that is just really empowering and uplifting, and you feel really filled up and satisfied and satiated, then you need to start doing things now that help you feel that way. So if you want an orgasmic birth or a pleasurable birth, then you need to start to do things right now to give you pleasure and give you pleasurable sensations, right? Oat straw really helps you feel good, and it's really soothing to your nervous system. So it helps with like anxiety and stress and tension and panic and like how I'm kind of moving around uncomfortably. Oat straw really soothes that. And then it also helps, why I mentioned the word pleasure, is it helps elicit these beautiful sensations. So when you softly touch your arm and you feel that like prickly, delicious feeling, oat straw helps you facilitate those types of feelings. So if you're trying to find beauty in things and find pleasure in things, especially in your body and in your birth and in your life, oat straw really helps you enhance and that sensation. So that's where oat straw is going to fit. Oat straw is going to be helpful with the whole constipation conversation. It's going to be helpful in the headache conversation because of the tension and all the tension you feel in the headache. Oat straw is going to help calm that. And oat straw, if a person has been nauseous and vomiting, oat straw is going to help really fill them up so they're really nourished, right? And so that's how oat straw fits into this conversation. And it's one of the blends, one of the herbs in this blend that we're going to give to you today when you comment about how much you want it. So I want to say thank you for being here, for spending the time with me and allowing me to spend this time with you. I want us to close this conversation and have like a smile on your face when you're thinking about peppermint and this joyful, uplifting plant that's both stimulating, expanding, and also really relaxing. So let's close this with a few deep breaths. Let's have our guided relaxation and our visualization. And so I'm going to be standing, and I'm just going to feel my feet on the ground, and I invite you to feel your feet. And no matter where you are, I guess if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. But if you're driving, you wouldn't be watching a Facebook Live. So there's that. So let's just settle into either your chair or laying down or in your stance. Bringing your breath long and slow and deep, and centering your breath all the way down, down, down into your feet. Breathing in and out. Feeling yourself become rooted in your own truth. Rooted in your self-worth. Rooted in your beauty. Rooted in your connection to the thing that is beyond you. Breathing in. Bring this awareness up through your ankles, through your calves, to your knees. Breathing up through the tops of your thighs and the backs of your thighs. Up to your glutes and to your pelvis. And then do a Kegel, tighten that all up, and then soften everything. Allow your breath to enter all the organs and spaces of your pelvis. And if you are pregnant, connect with your baby and your belly and your placenta and the amniotic fluid. Be proud of yourself. And for those of us that are not pregnant, still connect to this creative center with a deep sense of gratitude for this area's ability to create and manifest. Breathing in and out. Bring that energy up through your chest and up your back, out your shoulders, down your arms to your elbows, wrists, hands and fingers. Becoming aware of your neck, where your head and your neck connect. Softening your jaw, your lips, your tongue, your mouth. Sensing the air as it enters and leaves your nostrils. Soften your eyelids, forehead, even your ears. Take a moment to hear what's in your environment. Take a a moment to taste what's in your mouth. Take a moment to touch what your fingertips land on and feel that. Softening your entire body, the tops of your head, all the way down to your feet. Now come and bring your attention to your heart, and you know you're there when you feel your heartbeat. And ask your heart and your body, what does your heart need from you right now? What does your body need from you right now? For it to feel appreciated. What do you need to feel appreciated and nourished and supported right now? And then if that need is something you can give yourself, like gratitude, appreciation, love, joy, say that to yourself. Give yourself the words that you need to hear. And after you acknowledge your heart, come back into your body, come back and feel your feet, come back and feel your legs and your pelvis and your chest and your back and your arms and your elbows and your hands and your face and your head, your entire body. Feel it all as one that's simultaneously grounded and present and expanded and uplifted. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And when you open your eyes, allow yourself to become fully awake and energized, ready for the rest of your day. And I'll just tell you what my heart needed to hear was, it had kind of said a lot. It was about me, you, and then it was like us, we. And then it was like, we're all in this together. So that's what my heart needed to hear, is we're all in this together. And so I appreciate you. I remember, I want to invite you next week on Thursday at noon. We're going to be doing another live event. And so we're going to do I've covered a lot of topics in depth, so I'm going to do a little just brief synopsis of those things. And then we're going to do a tea ceremony. So not like an official geisha Japanese tea ceremony, but we are going to talk about simple ways to bring the sacred to the simple. How to make everyday actions enhanced with your intent and your intention. And so drinking a simple cup of tea suddenly becomes a ceremony of deep self-care and self-practice, and that's nourishing. So we're going to do that next week. So I encourage you to join us. I encourage you to get your tea tin. Be on the lookout for our new stuff, and check out our blog and check out our podcast. We're working hard on that and getting excited about it. It's all a work in progress, but it's just coming along. And so I bow to you with deep gratitude, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.